Hello there, you're watching Nightline with me, Liyana Hassanel. News making the headlines. Audience with Kedah ruler unrelated to REE mining, says Prime Minister. And Selangor MB Amirudin to sue Sanusi for defamation. Good morning. Prime Minister Datuk Sri Anwar Ibrahim has confirmed that he did have an audience with Sultan of Kedah, Sultan Salihuddin Sultan Batli Shah, together with an Indonesian businessman, but clarified that it was just a courtesy call. In fact, he said the courtesy call has nothing to do with the application for the businessman to run a rare earth element mining activity in Kedah, as alleged by Menteri Besar Datuk Sri Muhammad Sanusi Mat Noor.
Isu dia curi nada bumi, isu dia, ya. Jangan alihkan. Menghadap tuanku itu jadual baru dia Mahmudiyah Sultan Kedah. Jadi saya tidak mau kait, itu pertemuan Sultan Kedah dan majlis itu majlis dengan Sultan Kedah. Dia tak bangkit soal REE. Isu dia ini, kalau dia mohon-memohon, itu bukan kepada Sultan Kedah. Sultan Kedah panggil saya, ada hal-hal lain, termasuk ziarah makam, itu soal lain.
He said this to reporters after opening the Malaysian Commercialization Year Summit 2023. Prior to this, the media reported that Datuk Sri Sanusi claimed that Datuk Sri Anwar and the Indonesian businessman had come to the state to visit the REE mining site before the 15th general election. The businessman, known as Riza Khalid, was said to have had a keen interest in investing and running REE mining business in Kedah. In other news, Selangor Menteri Besar Datuk Sri Amirudin Shari will take legal action against Datuk Sri Muhammad Sanusi for allegations made at the Jelajah Mega PN Best Sayangi Kedah Sejahtera at Dataran Darul Aman, Jitra on Wednesday night. Datuk Sri Amirudin said the allegations made were clearly slanderous and a desperate attempt to shift the public's focus from his alleged links to illegal mining of rare earth elements in Kedah. In a statement, Datuk Sri Amirudin explained that he would start the legal process against Datuk Sri Sanusi immediately on the slanderous statements, which alleged that the Selangor Menteri Besar was involved in a river project scandal with Brijaya Group founder Tan Sri Vincent Tan, who Datuk Sri Sanusi claims intends to develop a 10 billion ringgit project by acquiring 600 acres of land in Selangor. Datuk Sri Amirudin said he had discussed the matter with his counsel and will commence with legal action against the Perikatan Nasional Election Director next week. He described the allegations as an attempt by a desperado who wants to shift the perception from all scandalous REE claims made against him, which he has failed to factually answer until now. He added that he had already explained in great length about the matter at the Selangor State Legislative Assembly, as well as in a parliamentary session on March 1st this year. Meanwhile, Brijaya Land said it will lodge a police report and pursue legal measures against Datuk Sri Sanusi for claims made against the company, which it has described as being made with malicious intent and are clearly aimed at tarnishing the reputation of the company and undermining its commitment. Brijaya Land Group CEO Said Ali Shahul Hamid stressed that the baseless and unsubstantiated false accusations are entirely without merit and lack any verification. The statement by the company denied the allegations by Datuk Sri Sanusi that Menteri Besar Selangor Incorporated, MBI, sold a 55% share in its wholly owned subsidiary to Brijaya Land. Brijaya Land and its related companies was also never given 600 acres of Selangor state land worth 10 billion ringgit for free. Said Ali also strongly denied that Selangor had incurred losses of 180 million ringgit by giving 600 acres of land for free. The government is now focusing on upskilling of the local workforce in order to meet the increasing needs of leading global companies. According to the Prime Minister, among the steps taken by the government is to involve big companies in providing partial TVET training to ensure that future graduates were able to fulfill the respective job requirements.
Umpamanya Proton ambil alih TVET sebahagiannya supaya latihan itu memenuhi keperluan Proton dan Jili. Petronas ambil alih beberapa seperti di Batu Rakit, di Pengerang supaya memenuhi keperluan Aramco dan syarikat-syarikat lain. Itu beberapa langkah awal. Kemudian kita telah bersetuju supaya tenaga pengajar TVET sebahagiannya dibawa supaya diberikan latihan upskilling supaya dapat disampaikan.
He said the government will also ensure that more allocations be given so that machineries and tools can be acquired in order to better aid the training. The Prime Minister said such steps are vital, especially when companies such as Tesla and Geely enter the market, resulting in the need for additional labour force. In the meantime, the Prime Minister also wants a concerted effort to tackle the declining interest in the science and mathematics subjects among school children. This was following the latest study by the Education Ministry, which revealed a decline in students' interest in both subjects. In another development, the Prime Minister said that the Pulau and Simpang Jeram seats will most likely remain with Amanah for the upcoming by-elections. Datuk Sri Anwar, who is PH chairman, said, however, that the coalition's presidential council would still make the final decision on the candidates.
Selalunya kita hormat keputusan lama, itu kerusi amanah, tapi ini akan diputuskan oleh Majlis PH dan kemudian saya angkat untuk Majlis Kerajaan Perpaduan. Kerusi Parlimen Pulau itu.
On Thursday, Barisan Nasional Chairman Datuk Sri Ahmad Zahid Hamidi said the coalition was making way for Amanah to contest in the Pulau Parliamentary and Simpang Jeram state by-elections next month. He said BN made the decision in the spirit of political partnership in the unity government. The two seats fell vacant following the death of the incumbent representative, Datuk Sri Salahuddin Ayub, on July 23rd.
It's Malaysia's strongest state, achieving a status that is respected in the ASEAN region and is recognized as one of the ASEAN Tigers.
I'm Zahir Kalgunong Abdullah, and I'll be speaking to Sarawak Premier Tan Sri Abang Johari in Kuching this Saturday at 5 p.m. only on TV3.
Pengukuhan ekonomi, peningkatan kesejahteraan dalam memacu kelestarian, takbir urus moden, holistik dan berkesan. Semuanya dalam Soal Rakyat bersama Menteri Besar Selangor, Datuk Seri Amirudin Syari. Ahad 6 Ogos, jam 4 petang, hanya di TV3 dan stream HD secara langsung di aplikasi Tonton.
Malaysia will submit a new proposal on the Kuala Lumpur-Singapore High-Speed Rail HSR project to Singapore after an initial decision on it is made by the government. Prime Minister Datuk Sri Anwar Ibrahim said the new proposal would then be brought forth by Transport Minister Anthony Loke for Singapore's consideration.
Singapore kata Malaysia belum bagi cadangan pasal HSR.
Itu belum, saya peringkat kita. Baru peringkat kita, sebaik ada keputusan awal, barulah akan diangkat oleh Menteri Anthony Loke ke perhatian Singapura.
It was reported that Singapore has yet to receive any new proposal from Malaysia regarding the revival of the HSR project. According to Acting Singapore Transport Minister Chee Hong Tat, Singapore is ready to discuss the implementation of the project with Malaysia.
Regional and sectoral plans.
With a week left until the elections in 6 states, Communications and Digital Minister Fahmi Fadzil has reminded all parties not to play up issues touching on race, religion and royalty, or 3R. Fahmi said no political party should sacrifice the nation's harmony and unity just to win an election. Fahmi also reminded the public to be mindful of the social media content they share during this election period. However, the government is aware that social media platforms such as TikTok are yet to have listening tools that can scrutinize and report on such videos. As such, he said the current monitoring process is being conducted manually. In the meantime, police have opened an investigation paper on the word Allah issue, touched upon by Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin in a political campaign speech last Sunday. Pulau Pinang Police State Election Media spokesman SACW Puspanathan said the case is being investigated by the Bukit Aman Classified Crime Investigation Unit under the Penal Code and Communications and Multimedia Act. Puspanathan said the report on 3R issues was received on July 31st regarding an article published by a news portal. He then shared that in total, Pulau Pinang Police had received 8 reports related to the state election, 6 of which involved damage caused to party flags and banners. Puspanathan, who is State Crime Prevention and Community Safety Department Chief, said another case was related to defamation of an independent candidate via social media, which was being investigated under the Communications and Multimedia Act 1998 as well. So far, there have been no arrests over the vandalism of flags and banners. Barisan Nasional is gaining momentum in terms of support in Kedah, especially in several seats which were previously deemed as black areas and considered hard to break through. State BN Chairman Datuk Sri Mahathir Khalid said he believed that there is an aura signaling that the people in Kedah are back to supporting BN, as these areas are now friendlier towards the coalition and the support can be felt as polling day nears.
Kita usahakan sebanyak mungkin untuk nak yakinkan pertama orang kita, pengundi kita yang ada deposit. Yang keduanya kita nak yakinkan anak muda. Apa benda yang kita nak buat, sebab tu kita lancarkan manifesto. Yang ketiganya kita nak golongan yang atas pagar, yang kita panggil dia kumpulan 50-50 lah atas pagar ni.
He was met after campaigning in Changdeng, Naka in Padang Terap, where he spent some time mingling with the Siamese community. Datuk Sri Mahathir said the momentum seems to be increasing in all 15 state seats that BN is contesting. The former Padang Terap MP said this was because Barisan had been working hard to be close to the people. Datuk Sri Mahathir, who is the BN candidate for Pedu in the August 12th election, is confident that the people of Kedah will choose candidates who can work over those who only want to be populist. He said the service record of candidates must be taken into account so that the people's aspirations can be achieved. Datuk Sri Mahathir also reminded the BN election machinery and supporters not to follow the rhythm of their rival by using abusive words in their political campaigns. India's top court suspends Rahul Gandhi's defamation conviction. News from the foreign front when we return. The Supreme Court of India on Friday suspended opposition Congress party leader Rahul Gandhi's conviction in a defamation case, enabling him to return to Parliament and contest national elections due next year. As a result of the Supreme Court's ruling, the lower house of Parliament will need to revoke Gandhi's disqualification for him to become an MP again. Gandhi, scion of a dynasty that has given India 3 prime ministers, was sentenced to 2 years imprisonment, but the jail term was put on hold and he was granted bail. He also lost his parliamentary seat following the conviction, since lawmakers sentenced to jail terms of 2 years or more are automatically disqualified. The 53-year-old Congress leader was convicted in March for his 2019 comments about Prime Minister Narendra Modi's surname at an election rally. Donald Trump on Thursday has pleaded not guilty to charges as he sought to overturn the 2020 election results in the United States, as the former president made his first court appearance to respond to a new federal indictment against him. Trump entered his plea during an arraignment hearing at a courthouse in Washington, D.C., marking the former president's 3rd appearance in 4 months as a criminal defendant. His not guilty plea covered the 4 charges of latest indictment, which includes conspiracy to defraud the U.S., conspiracy to obstruct an official proceeding, obstruction of an official proceeding, and conspiracy against the rights of citizens. The judge set the next hearing in the case for August 28th. Trump now faces 5 upcoming trials, 3 in New York over the hush money payment, and civil trials over business practices and alleged defamation of a woman who accused him of rape. In other news, at least 11 people have been killed and dozens missing in a deadly landslide in the western Georgian region of Racha. It was reported that the landslide took place in Shavi, a small resort area in Georgia's mountainous northwest, on Thursday night. The Interior Ministry said on Friday that 6 bodies have been found during the search and rescue operation so far, while 25 individuals remain missing. Officials meanwhile said that more than 200 people were evacuated from the area, as helicopters and rescue dogs were dispatched to help with the search efforts. Heavy rains and flooding are not uncommon in Georgia, where steep slopes pose a risk of landslides. As tensions with North Korea spike, South Korea will hold its first nationwide civil defense drill in 6 years later this month, requiring most of the country's 51 million residents to practice evacuating to safe spaces during the 20-minute exercise. In a news release this week, Prime Minister Han Duck-soo said the drill, scheduled for 2 p.m. local time on August 23rd, is part of a larger exercise to test the South Korean government's response to potential threats, including advanced nuclear missile threats, cyber attacks, drone terrors, and more. Instructions from the Interior Ministry said 17,000 shelters would be open nationwide, and locations are searchable in popular Korean apps. However, many South Koreans have become resigned to the fact that much of the population would only have minutes to respond to any possible North Korean missile or airstrike. South Koreans have long become used to periods of fractious relations with the North, but the current level of tensions are especially high. South Korean police have arrested a man suspected of stabbing a teacher with a knife in the city of Daejeon on Friday, the country's 2nd random knife attack in 2 days. According to police, the suspect waited for the teacher to step out of a classroom at Songcheon High School before stabbing him and fleeing the scene. Police said the suspected man was in his 20s. The attack in Daejeon came hours after President Yoon Suk-yeol called for ultra-strong law enforcement measures to restore faith in public safety after a previous attack, which he described as a terrorist attack on innocent citizens. The Thursday attack saw a car ramming onto a sidewalk before the driver stepped out and began stabbing people at random, leaving 14 injured, 2 of them critically.
Pero nos salimos bajo la modalidad de que no son las 24 personas y el momento en que te
The national hockey team overcame a slow start to thrash China 5-1 to record their second Asian Champions Trophy victory at the major Radhakrishnan Stadium, Chennai, on Friday. China scored first through Chen Chongchong in the 4th minute. However, the speedy Tigers drew level in the 11th minute off their first penalty corner through Faisal Sari, before Azrai Aizat made it 2-1 after 15 minutes. Firhan Ashari then scored in the 45th and 49th minutes to give Malaysia a 4-1 lead, before Najmi Farizal Jazlan nailed the 5th of a 57th minute field goal. Malaysia will play hosts India in their next match on Sunday. On to badminton, the 2023 Australian Open. Independent shuttler Lee Zijia stormed into the semi-finals after defeating compatriot Ng Se-yong in a thrilling quarter-finals match. In the quarter-final clash at the Key Centre Arena in Sydney, Zijia was forced to sweat for 83 minutes before successfully seeing off the 23-year-old. The Kedah-born athlete lost the first set 17-21 before coming back to claim the rest of the match 26-24, 21-19. This was Zijia's first semi-finals appearance after suffering early round exits in 6 tournaments. With his victory, the world number 17 is set to take on Wang Hongyang of China in the next round. Meanwhile, it was the end of the road for world number 4 Aaron Chia So Woo-yik as they disappointingly crashed out of the last 8 again. To rub salt into their wounds, Aaron Woo-yik's 21-15, 21-17 loss to Taiwan's Lu Qingyao, Yang Po-han was their first in 5 meetings. Turning to tennis, the 2023 Los Cabos Open. Stefanos Tsitsipas booked his spot in the last 4 with a hard-earned win against Nicholas Harry. The top seed held his nerve to down Nicholas Harry 6-7, 7-6, 6-2 and reached the semi-finals on his debut at the hard-court ATP 250. 24-year-old Tsitsipas had to hang tough as Harry held the upper hand in the first half of the 2-hour, 58-minute encounter. But a strong second-set tie-break display proved pivotal before the Greek dominated the decider. He will face 4th seed Borna Coric in the semi-finals. Joining him was Alex de Minaur. The Australian marched into the semi-finals with a victory over number 3 seed Tommy Paul of the United States. His 6-4, 3-6, 6-3 hard-court win in the 250 series event maintained the Australians' 100% record against Paul, stretching it to 5 wins in 5 meetings with the world number 14. The world number 19 will face Germany's Dominik Kappa for a place in the final. $119 shelters for motorcyclists to be built. The details when Nightline returns. A total of 119 shelters will be built on highways nationwide under the Bitara Madani initiative as an effort to make it easier for motorcyclists to seek shelter, especially during bad weather. Works Minister Datuk Sri Alexander Nantalingi said the construction of the shelter was a collaboration between the Works Ministry, KKR, and the Malaysian Highway Authority, LLM, which involved 33 highway concessionaires. He added that 40 of the 190 new shelters are expected to be completed this year, while the rest will be completed next year, on top of the existing 353 shelters. He emphasized the alarming frequency of accidents involving motorcyclists, particularly during adverse weather conditions, and shed light on the perilous practice of seeking shelter at emergency lanes. He also reminded motorcyclists to be extra vigilant when using the emergency lane because it is not an exclusive route for them, but it is used by other vehicles to stop due to emergency factors. Datuk Sri Nanta also hopes that KKR's collaboration with LLM and highway concessionaires will continue with more initiatives in the future. In Selangor, the body of a man believed to be a murder victim was found in a scrap metal storage shed in Serdang on Friday. Serdang Police Chief Assistant Commissioner A.A. Anbalagan said the victim's body was found stuffed in a gunny sack. He said that police received information about the incident at around 1:30 p.m. after a man reported about the discovery of the victim's body. The identity of the victim remains unknown as no personal identification documents were found at the scene. The victim's body has been sent to Serdang Hospital for post-mortem. Police are still conducting an investigation to identify the suspects involved in the case as well as the motive behind the incident. The case is being investigated under the Penal Code. Nightline draws to a close this time around. Before we leave, let's take a look as visitors in Tokyo's Asakusa district flock to a restaurant specializing in shaved ice desserts as they look for a way to beat the scorching summer heat. With that, I'm Liyana Hassanel. Thank you for watching and stay safe, Malaysia.